right. Well, fantastic. Welcome, everyone. My name is Ezra, and I work at WGU on our employer engagement team in the Office of Career and Professional Development. I am excited for today's session, but before we get started, I do have some just housekeeping items. So first and foremost, I did hit the record button. We're going to be recording this session, and then everyone will get a copy of the recording. So if you wanted to rewatch later on, probably tomorrow by the time it's done processing. The other piece too is at the end of this session, I will be sharing a quick 2-question survey. Greatly appreciate you guys taking that and completing that. I'll also include it in the follow-up email as well. And then last but not least, we are going to save questions for the end today, so there will be time for a Q&A session. You can enter those into the chat, or later you'll be able to raise your hand and come off mute as well. So don't lose any of those questions. And without further ado, I am excited to introduce Valencia Griffin, who is the Talent Acquisition Specialist and dedicated to all early and career efforts at Parker. So Valencia, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ezra. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to a great session. Have a lot of good information for you guys, and I am going to share my screen. Give me 30 seconds here to pull up the presentation. All right. All right. Ezra, can you see everything good? Can you see the first slide?
I do. It looks good.
Perfect. So we have a jam-packed few minutes with us. So I am going to kind of run through our leadership development program, as well as briefly touch on internship opportunities and just Parker in general. So we will leave questions to the end. So for sure, we will have time for you guys to ask questions, and I encourage that. So please take yourself off of mute during the question and answer session, or write those questions in the chat and we will be able to address them. But welcome, everyone. Just as mentioned before, my name is Valencia Griffin, and I am Parker's Talent Acquisition Specialist here in Mayfield Heights, Ohio, kind of Cleveland, Ohio metropolitan area. Just to give you a little background about myself, I've been with Parker for about 12 years now. I started out in the program that I'm going to speak about today, which is our leadership development program. Excuse me, it is a 12 to 24 month rotational program that, again, we'll talk a little bit more about as we dive deep into this presentation. But we have a host of opportunities, and I, again, actually came through one of these programs. I'm originally from Michigan, and I graduated from Michigan Technological University, way up north. If you Michiganders, anyone from Michigan here will probably know where the UP is of Michigan. So graduated back in 2012, landed a job here at Parker, and I've been here ever since. So graduated with an electrical engineering degree, like I said before, and kind of just migrated myself through the HR channel. So definitely kind of a squiggly career path, but happy to be here at Parker. So moving on to the agenda, again, we're going to talk about our leadership development program. We'll talk about, all things, what is the program, and then what do the programs offer you all as students. So how to apply, we'll talk about how do we get you guys opportunities for these specific roles. And then again, we'll have a question and answer session for you guys to ask any questions. So we will get started. I decided to not have a bunch of slides about Parker and kind of who we are, and just decided to throw a quick 2-minute video in so you can get a well-rounded view of kind of what we do, who we are, and then we'll kind of dive deep more into the leadership development program. So bear with me. Hopefully the sound is there. If not, you're not missing much. It's just some intro sound. So take a look. All right. So as you can see, we do a lot of different things. So I like to tell students or just individuals who are wanting to learn more about Parker, and they ask me, "What do you guys do? You do so much," and you're right, we do. We do a lot of different things. We like to call ourselves a business to business corporation. So what that means is you won't see us at any of the big box stores or kind of on the streets when you see like a John Deere tractor or anything like that. But we like to think about it as if you lift up the hood for some of those, some of the items that you saw, like the airplane, the tractor trailers, et cetera, et cetera. We make a lot of the things under the hood. So anything like you saw before from pumps and motors, seals for O-rings. Just think about even Starbucks. I mean, everyone loves coffee or tea or, a nice beverage every now and then. We have seals and filters that go directly into Starbucks brewing machine. So obviously you won't see that from a consumer standpoint, but we supply a lot of those different things to those huge companies that you wouldn't think. So we do a lot of different things and we're happy. We like to say that we help solve the world's greatest challenges. So any challenge that some of those major customers have, we're here to support those. So just wanted to give you a brief update about Parker and kind of who we are and what we do. But hopefully you'll join our team and learn a little bit more about us. Right. So I'll jump into what is the Leadership Development Program. So we like to say is a path to your future. So we use professional development, real world experience, as well as an expansive network to help you guys cultivate your career paths. So the development program offers a course of different programs that we'll talk about a bit more in this presentation. But during that time as an LDA, and I'll use that term quite a bit, again, that stands for Leadership Development Associate. But our LDA program offers multiple assignments exposing you to different areas of our business. So even if you are an engineer, you will get to know the business of Parker outside of engineering, including engineering, obviously, but outside of engineering as well. So you will spend time with customer service. You'll spend time in the shipping department. You'll spend time putting together applications. You'll work with, obviously, the engineering team, but you'll also work with our HR perspectives just to give you an idea of what the business is like outside of your particular function. We have roughly 13 different functions that we offer, which again, I'll talk about a little bit before or a little bit after. But you will work hard to grow your professional and personal career. So throughout that time, throughout the 12 to 24-month rotational program, and that all depends on which group you're a part of, you will spend that time just growing professionally and personally. We put you through a series of trainings for your professional use or your professional career, and then also those mentoring opportunities where you can ask those questions to individuals who have been in the corporation or at least been in your shoes in the past to help you navigate. So we really, really like and love to promote this LDA program. It's one of our top and most performing programs that we have here today. It's been around. I've been here 12 years, so I don't know how many more years beyond that or before that that the program was actually started. But I know an individual who is just retiring and his program started in 1991. So you can imagine this program has been around for quite some time. It continues to expand as years and years go by, and we really take pride in the individuals that come through this program. So as I mentioned before, there's 13 different programs. We have our accounting program, we have our environmental health and safety, engineering. Now our engineering track has two different paths. You have a general engineering track where it's more design work, and then you have a manufacturing track. So if you're interested in manufacturing, kind of CNC shop floor engineering, that'll definitely be the area for you. Lean is one, quality is another, strategic pricing is another, great for business analysts, human resources. We no longer have our manufacturing engineering, and that is a typo, but that is encompassed into our full engineering discipline. We have supply chain, IT, technical sales, which is the program I came through, contract management, and then program management. And we'll talk about each one of those as we move forward within the presentation. And they're going to be rapid fire. So if you have one of interest, just make sure you're paying attention to the one that you're interested in. And we will go in alphabetical order. So get ready. So we talked about, we'll next talk about the number of rotations. So as I told you before, it's a 12 to 24 month rotational program. So depending on which program you're interested in, you will range from 1 to 4 different locations. So again, if you are on a 24-month rotational program, obviously you'll spend 6 months at 4 different rotations within the 2 years. If you're a 12-month, depending on which program you're in, 1 to 3. The content rotations and projects specific to that functional area. So again, if you are in the accounting program, you will be exposed to all things accounting, but also you'll be exposed to multiple businesses as well as some of our competition, how do they work, as well as just the business in general. Because we all know, just for example, for accounting, we all know that the business consists of other things outside of accounting, correct? In order for us to be who we are today. So we want to make sure that you learn about those opportunities. And then lastly, you'll be able to get an executive sponsor as well as being trained by some of our subject matter experts. So that is a key that a lot of other companies don't offer. And then also just training in general, just curriculum for leadership training. Again, this is a leadership development program. So we're here to prep you to be a leader of this company one day. So we do have for your particular function. And then outside of that, with your mentor help, we're able to, obviously you will be early in your career once you take this role, but we want to start those development conversations. What does the future look like? That way we can prepare you for the future. So all program requirements, obviously, you have to obtain a bachelor's degree within that specific area or something similar. 3.0 GPA is required. Obviously, you have to demonstrate an academic leadership and achievement. Leadership is not for everyone, and we understand that. So just making sure that you have that leadership ability and that's what you want to do within your career, at least now, would be a requirement for us. And we know that things change. Now, the only qualification that is 100% mandatory throughout this whole list that you see in front of you today is the fourth bullet: geographically flexible, with interest in rotating locations and experiences throughout and beyond the program. So what does that mean, Valencia? That means throughout the program, you will rotate, you will move around to different locations. Now, does that mean different states? Does that mean just different offices? It means everything. So you could be in Alabama one of your rotations. The second rotation you may be in Memphis. The next rotation you may be back in Michigan, and then your last rotation you may be in Atlanta. Who knows? Just all depends on the business need as well as your function. So we ask that everyone who apply or at least is of interest is able and willing to be flexible when it comes to geographic areas. So for example, I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan, and when I concluded the program, I ended up in Oklahoma City. So two different areas, two different lifestyles, but it was a great experience for me. So if you have that capability, this might be the program for you. And if it's not, no worries, because we have other opportunities as well for those who aren't looking to be geographically flexible. Now, I know some of you are thinking, well, at the end of my program, am I able to say where I want to go? Do I have any say so in my final location? Of course you do. We ask all of our candidates and all of our trainees, what area of the world would you like to be placed in? Is it Midwest? Is it Southwest? Is it on the West Coast? And we will do our best to accommodate that. But as you know, sometimes business needs are elsewhere, and that may trump your specific location. So again, if you are interested in any of the programs that we share today, I want you to think about, are you really geographically flexible, and are you willing to move around? So just giving you a brief snapshot. I won't read everything, but just giving you a list of a few of the programs where you could end up postgraduate role. So that meaning after the graduation period. So after the 12 to 24-month rotational program, and then future functional roles. So if you continue to stay within that program, what roles that you might be able to get into. So I won't read everything. I'll give you about 20 seconds just to kind of glance at the list and the programs, the different majors, and some of the postgraduate roles and future roles that you may be a part of. Okay. So just wanted to show you all my colleagues and individuals who helped make this happen. So the individuals you see on the screen, which the names mean nothing to you, but just wanted you to see these individuals just in case you apply for any of the roles, you interview, and then these individuals come up. So these are the individuals that make the program happen. They run the program day to day for their particular function. So Zach is a part of accounting, Tavita for EHS, and the list goes on and on. So again, if you do and are interested in these programs, you might hear from one of these individuals. So just wanted to throw that out there. So let's get started on what programs are entered into the leadership development program. So of course we have accounting. So those interested in accounting will rotate through 4 different Parker locations, depending on where the business need is over the 2 years. So you will contribute to projects relating to cost accounting, financial analyst, and internal audit. And then obviously you'll be able to receive training and experience regarding financial statements, in reporting, day-to-day accounting tasks, and accounting principles, standard costing, inventory control, etc. Again, all of those requirements and qualifications that we showed on the previous screen would apply to this 3.0 geographically flexible, strong analytical and communication skills. But for the degree, we're looking for those who are obtaining a degree in either accounting, finance, information systems, or business, or something similar. So after your role, you will be placed in an accounting role, and obviously progression into bigger leadership roles. So plan accountant, financial analyst, internal audit, the list kind of goes on and on. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. Technical difficulty. So we have a contract management program. So you will rotate through 3 to 4 Parker different aerospace locations. So this particular program is located in our aerospace division. So that is majority on the West Coast. So your California, your Washingtons and all the other West Coast areas. And we have a few locations in Texas as well too. So I'm just keeping that in mind. But over the 2 years, you'll be contributing to projects related to contract management, including assisting in management of contract form and contract compliance, including price management, change management, dispute or issue management over the life cycle of a contract. So just think about all things contracts. You can imagine we have lots of contracts internal to Parker, and you work cross-functionally with a bunch of different functions. So you'll be working with engineering, pricing, and finance, supply chain, planning, quality. I mean, a host of different functions. So this is an important role. Obviously, same qualifications. You'll see a kind of trend here for the geographically flexible piece because I told you that was our mandatory qualification. But a bachelor's or master's of science in business administration with an emphasis on contract management is preferred. And then after the program, you'll be a contract administrator or a contract administrator assistant. Move on to our EHS, which is environmental health and safety. You'll rotate to two to three different Parker locations over the course of the 2 years and complete four different types of experiences, including regulatory requirements, management systems, risk reduction, and safety as a value. So throughout that time, you'll be able to teach EHS foundations and develop operational partnerships. So you'll work with a host again of other functions. You'll be able to develop communication, leadership, and project management skills, but then also help with our sustainability report. So we issue a sustainability report on all the things happening within Parker and how we are remaining sustainable. And this is one of the big projects that the EHS leader kind of works on, or the EHS LDA works on throughout their 2 years. Isn't the only project, but one of the projects that gets a lot of visibility around here. So it's very, very exciting time. A bachelor's degree in safety and health, environmental science, emergency management, safety and engineering, environmental engineering. List goes on and on. So previous experience working in manufacturing environment is preferred, not a requirement, but definitely will give you a leg up. And then after you graduate the program, you will be an EHS specialist or a site EHS manager. So on site at one of our locations around the world. And then we have our engineering function. So this program prepares participants for roles in increasing responsibility through a contribution of rotational assignments. So you'll be 1 year at our corporate location. So here in the building that I'm in currently today, you'll be working with a lot of our engineers, advanced learning plan that goes through 6 to 12 months with additional assignments. You'll work on just networking and product group understanding. So as I mentioned before, we have 5 different operational groups within Parker. You'll work with each one of those to identify their engineering practices. You'll do product review. You'll be on site, not only here at corporate, but also in our divisions where we make all of the components that we sell. And this is a really, really prominent program, one we pride ourselves on. So a bachelor's degree in all engineering. All engineering will work if you have the passion to do so, and then the understanding of engineering field outside of the classroom. So any prior engineering work experience will definitely be of help. But then again, if you don't have any outside of work experience, that's not the end all be all. We want to make sure that, again, you have those personable skills, and that's for all programs. So involvement outside of campus as well as on campus organizations as a leader, a proven leader, would be preferred as well. So again, typical placements after graduation would be a typical engineer, a design engineer, or product engineer. Our human resources, again, 3 or 4 different Parker locations. And then you will be involved in different types of experiences, including HR generalists and specialty roles.
Me.
If everyone could put their phone on mute, that would help me out quite a bit. Thank you. So we actually have several human resources LDAs, working with myself and my team currently. So I'm in the learning and development and kind of recruiting and sourcing department within HR. So our LDA helps us a lot with scheduling and doing a lot of the recruitment activity. So not only being on campus or doing these type of events, but setting them up, really get involved with just the recruiting and sourcing experience, because that's, a large chunk of human resources is obviously recruiting and sourcing, but also spending time with compensation and benefits, leave management, high performance team and leadership, community involvement, etc. So after the placement, the typical LDA will be an HR generalist or an HR representative. We have our IT, which is another prominent and kind of popular area that we get a lot of interest in. They rotate through 3 different locations. One of their locations is here at our corporate headquarters in Cleveland, Ohio. They receive on the job training, real world experiences with coaching. But during that time, you'll be able to gain a lot of IT experience. So you'll have the opportunity to produce results. You'll be working on cybersecurity and all the other great things that we have going on here at Parker in the IT space. So bachelor's degree in computer science, information system, or anything related. Again, involvement on campus organizations. And then after the placement, you will be placed as a digital and IT associate. I know a few that are going into our SAP area. Parker's, really trying to develop our SAP. So a lot of our LDAs are moving towards that. Integration is another one. We're doing a lot of new things within the IT space here at Parker. So the world is plentiful when it comes to the IT space. Lean, you'll rotate through 4 different Parker locations over the 2 years. So again, 6 months at each of the different locations and areas. So you'll receive training and experience in lean and quality systems and processes. And lean and quality kind of go in hand. So I'll briefly kind of go through that once the queue comes up, because it's pretty similar to our lean. We actually hold them as the cohort is separate, but the groups that come in together spend a lot of time together because they work a lot with each other during that 2 years. So you'll be able to problem solve with the team to identify lean and quality solutions. So a bachelor's degree in engineering, manufacturing, and industrial, mechanical, chemical, electrical, almost any engineering area will work here. But placement after your graduation would be a site lean manager, a value stream manager, operations manager. Great opportunities in this program. Project management, we're almost getting there. So as a LDA entering the project management career path, it is again a 2-year rotational program, and you'll spend a lot of time with cost scheduling, risk management, change control, earned value, work and organizational structures. The list kind of goes on and on. So just think about a project manager role. You'll be given a series of tasks and series of important project controls, tools, and processes that you'll have to manage. And this is one of our newer programs, but a popular one, it seems as if. So a bachelor's degree in engineering, business, or related field. And then you'll be also working on or learning key tools and processes, serving as a PPC analyst. Will provide LDAs with the opportunity to work closely with experienced project managers. So you won't be thrown out in kind of the wolves. You'll be working alongside a project manager. And then after the conclusion of the program, you will be your own or that division's project manager. So again, just as we talked about lean and quality, they kind of go hand in hand. I won't repeat anything that we said before, but again, all engineering degrees work for this particular role. And then after the program placement, you'll be a quality engineer, supply quality engineer, or again, a value team leader. So strategic pricing is 2 6-month rotational program or 2 6-month rotational placements. So throughout that time, it's a 1 year program. So this program, as well as the sales program, is 1 year total. So you'll be able to analyze data and make recommendations, balancing customers' value, competitive markets, and company cost. So a required qualification is a degree in business, marketing, analytics, or related area, an ability to blend analytics with intuition in decision making. So at the conclusion of this program, a strategic pricing LDA will be a pricing analyst or a cost analyst. You're probably asking yourself, why is this even important, right? Well, this is probably the most important because just being able to make sure that we have analysts that come in and talk about pricing, making sure our cost is obtainable, making sure that we're competitive. So this is a great program, and all the individuals that come through, we see a lot of success. Supply chain is another popular one. So again, a 2 year rotational program, 12 months at the first rotation, 6 months, and then another 6 months, completing 3 different Parker locations. And then throughout that time, you will be able to involving inventory management, material planning, scheduling, procurement, customer service, and logistics. I work a lot with our supply chain individuals, just making sure that all of our shipments are getting where we need them to go, which is very, very important. Making sure that we have things just as small as, toiletries within the bathrooms here, they handle some of those things. So very, very important role. A degree in supply chain management operations and supply chain management logistics is preferred. And then after the program, you will be able to be placed as a buyer, planning specialist, sourcing specialist, an import export admin, or logistics coordinator. Technical sales. So a technical sales program is again a 1 year program. So again, this is the program that I actually came through. So it is a 12-month rotational program. And throughout that time, you'll be able to get product and application training. So you'll be able to know about all the different products that we make within your particular function and then within your particular group. So not all products that we offer, but just narrow down to what you are focusing on. You'll be able to build your professional network. So just think about sales. You'll be working with a lot of different people. You'll be working with HR. You'll be working with the pricing girls and gals and guys. Dealing with pricing, right? Customer pricing, customer negotiations, hands-on experience, sales. You'll be learning and with a distributor during your rotation. So a lot of our sales come through distributor sales and not direct sales. So meaning we don't sell directly to a customer, we sell through a kind of a third party, which we call distribution sales. So you'll be able kind of to be that liaison between our distribution and the corporation. So again, you have to be geographically flexible. A degree in engineering, business, industrial distribution, or sales is preferred. And then after the placement, you will be a territory manager, which again, you will manage a specific territory of the world. For our particular product sales, you can become an account manager where you have 1 or 2 particular accounts that you own, a John Deere, a GM, a Ford, or a sales manager are the options after graduation. So you have what it takes to shape a better future here at Parker. Now that you've heard all of the different programs that we offer, kind of the qualifications and the requirements for our programs, hopefully you guys are interested. So next, how do we apply? So if you want to drop the first link as well as the second link in the chat, these will be opportunities. If the first link that she drops in the chat will be just again all about our leadership development programs, the different functions that you will be able to explore, give you a little bit of brief of what you'll be doing and who you'll be looking for, or who we're looking for, excuse me. So please take a look at the first link. It's our landing page. Again, it shows you about all things LDA, and you'll be able to click individually which programs you're interested in learning a bit more about. Now, the second link is our careers page. And our careers page is loaded with a lot of different opportunities outside of the leadership development program. Now, the leadership development program, I forgot to mention, is only for those graduating seniors. So if you are not a senior, that's okay. We have opportunities for you as well. But the leadership development program is for those graduating seniors looking for full-time opportunities. If you're not a senior, but you enjoyed what you heard today, this program again will be around when it's your time, and feel free to keep us in mind when you are looking for those opportunities. But for everyone on the call, our careers page, www.parker.com/careers, hosts all of our opportunities, not only the leadership development roles. So if you visit our website, with the link below or the link in the chat, once you get to our job portal, you'll see a box that says search jobs. You can either search leadership, the word leadership, you can search internship, you can search engineering, you can even drill down to the location. So anything that you're interested in, drill down to location, or if you're geographically flexible, feel free to kind of just search and look what opportunities we have available. You can even put our job numbers in as well, and I will share those with you at the end of this presentation to make life a bit easier for you all. Or you can just type in any keywords that you want. Once you get to the list, select what you want and apply. Roles go pretty fast. So if you see something that is of interest to you, whether that's an internship or co-op, or leadership development program, please jump on that, because one day you can go on there, the next day they may be taken down. So those links should be in the chat, and we'll answer questions regarding those as we move forward. But I talked about job IDs. Instead of typing in leadership or typing in any of the leadership development roles that you heard today, these are the job ID numbers. So if you type in these specific numbers, go ahead and jot these down. And when you're at the career site, all you have to do is type those in. So for example, if you're interested in supply chain leadership development program, just type in 50574 and that particular role will pop up. So I'll give you about 2 seconds just to screenshot that or take a number down for you. And again, act quick. So lastly, again, we want to make sure that we check out the opportunities on our events calendar or even on Parker.com. So even if you don't see anything as of yet that is of interest of you on Parker.com, there's always roles adding on to our list as the day goes on, as the hour goes by. We also have a talent network area where you can just enter your name, email, and any other credentials that you want to disclose to us, and then also your interest. So if you're interested in an internship, an engineering internship in Dallas, Texas, you can put all that information in, and once an opportunity comes up, we will ping you with that opportunity. So that's a great way to keep in contact. That's a great way that you don't have to continue to keep going back and forth to the website to fill out or look for additional opportunities. And then always either find us on campus at one of your nearest campuses or virtual career fairs this fall as well as spring. So we are typically out and about during fall and spring time frame doing these type of sessions, being on campus, doing virtual sessions all the time. So please find us on Handshake or at some of your virtual events, and then connect with us on Handshake, LinkedIn, and all other social platforms. And then I will open it up for questions.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That was lots and lots of good information. So we've gotten a few questions that have come in already, so I'll start with those, and then feel free, guys, to continue to put questions in the chat, or if you want to raise your hand and you can come off mute and ask questions as well. One of the first questions we got, can you explain a little bit more about what you mean by executive sponsor as part of the, what is that? Do you get matched with someone? How does that work?
Absolutely. So each of the programs house an executive sponsor. So an executive sponsor is an individual who is an executive. An executive of that particular function. So, for the accounting specifically, we have an executive sponsor or an executive that is dedicated for that particular class. So, when I say class, 2024 class, 2025, the years kind of go on. So each year, an executive sponsor is there to answer any questions, to mentor, to if you have any discrepancies during your time throughout the program, if you are concluding the program and you are interested in, again, just being that executive is just there as an extra support system along with your mentors and peers that you will be going into the program with.
Fantastic. And then with the being geographically flexible, does Parker offer any sort of relocation assistance or any help with or support, whether financially or whatever the case may be,
Yep.
and helping you move every 3 to 4 months, or 3 to 6 months?
Absolutely, we do. So we offer a housing stipend is one. So what a housing stipend is we will give you X amount of money towards your living situations, and you will use that for rent. You will use that for your lodging accommodation. So if, for example, these are not definite numbers, but if we give you $500 for living situations and your apartment is eight, do the math. You'll pay. We'll give you the five. You pay the three. There's your eight. And then we also help with all of the state to state relocation is paid for. So you don't have to worry about moving all of your things. You don't have to worry about any of that. We have a specific dedicated department that helps with that.
Fantastic. Another question here. What are the salary ranges for the leadership development program?
So the salary ranges are all over the place, as you can imagine. But from we start out at 66, and then the ending is about 80, I believe. So just depending on 80,000, excuse me. So depending on which program you're entering in, that will determine your salary range.
Great. And then are you then guaranteed as you go through the leadership development program a position at the end?
Yes, you are. So, and when you are accept the role as a leadership development associate, you are considered a full-time employee. So, after the program, you will have a full-time role.
Perfect. And then your next class, when does that start?
The next class we have, so it's a tricky situation. So we understand that certain students graduate in December's timeframe, and we have a class for our kind of January starts, which is a very small class, but majority of our class starts in mid-June timeframe. And then throughout the time. So our January class will mingle and mix with our June class, and then we'll have usually orientation is done in June.
Great. Sorry, guys, I'm skipping around here. And then this is a global company. So are there opportunities in terms of international locations, or do you hire, like, let's say Canada, would you hire Canadian students, for example, to work in those areas?
So currently now it's a US based program. Now we do have a program similar to our program in other countries. We here, if you apply here, you will be considered for our US role. But if those opportunities are of interest, we can definitely get you connected with those in our graduate program, is what they call them in our other locations.
Perfect. And then what are your thoughts or advice if someone is interested in multiple programs, like they could see themselves doing multiple, let's say IT and engineering? Would you recommend applying to both and seeing where you end up in, or would you recommend just applying to one?
Absolutely. Apply to as many roles as you think that you see fit. Now, the only caveat to that is once that does happen, they will ask you which program are you most interested in. So you are not able to cross function and be able to be a part of multiple functions or programs. So you have to kind of pick which one you're most interested in, but feel free to apply as many as you want.
Okay. And then what about your internships? Now, I know me and you talked about your internships, but I
Yes.
wanted to share with everyone, how do your internships work? Is it similar to the leadership development program, or is it kind of its own thing? And how does that?
So it's its own thing. So we work as a decentralized company. So that means all of our locations are responsible, divisions and locations are responsible for their own intern and co op needs. So my intern and co op needs in Cleveland, Ohio is totally different from the one the individuals in Michigan. So we just ask that all those interested in internships go out to our careers website, see what's available out there, but we do have internships in all of the functions that we talked about today, but you won't be rotating around. You'll be in one specific location for those few weeks, and it is a paid internship.
Great. I hope that answers your question. Let me know if you have, here we go. What is the length of the internship? Sorry, that was another question that just came in since we're on the internship topic.
Absolutely. So it's dependent. We have a early start time, which is beginning of May. Last year, I think we started like May 7th, and it all depends on when you're out of school. And then we have a later session that starts beginning of June to give those certain schools time to wrap up for the year, and you'll be able to start in June. And those are typically until you go back to school. So end of August time frame.
Great. Let's see here. There's another question. Okay. So just because Western governors were a little bit different, and so what would you consider senior status? Do you all go by credits or, and specifically with this question, for example, this person will become a senior at the beginning of 2025. How would that line up with your timeline for the program?
So you either have to be able to fully work as a full-time employee, whether that's in January or June. If you are not ready for full-time employment outside of those two times, then that's how we quantify a senior. So senior ready to graduate, whether that's in start time in June or start time in January.
Okay. So as long as you graduate, yeah, before
As long
your
as you graduate before January
start.
or June, you're fine.
Perfect. I hope that answers that question. But feel free to throw in a follow-up in there. Okay. Let's see here. There was another question. Oh, about the digital and IT role. On your website it says it's no longer active. Sorry if you want to share that.
That yes, that is totally fine. Yes. So we are later in in the process when it comes to filling these roles. So we like to have majority of our roles filled and ready to go by the new year. So a few of those are on hold for now. Now they aren't closed and they may open back up. So our IT, for example, as well as our engineering is on hold for now. So I would just go bookmark it or keep that job ID handy because it may open back up. But again, for those who are looking to apply next year, the faster the better. We open those roles in July and typically close them around this time. So you can imagine we get a lot of interest in these programs, and once we fill the funnel, we put it on hold, and then we come back later if we don't find anyone that we want to extend an offer to.
Sounds good. Let's see here. Um, Casey, I'm gonna connect with you on your Handshake profile separately. Let me see. I'm just trying to go through questions that apply
Mhm.
to lots of other folks. This one's a good one. How many are accepted into the program at a time?
it depends, again, function specific. But we usually have a total about 160 new LDAs coming in at one time. So it all depends on function. Like our accounting function is looking for 25 individuals. Our sales function is looking for 30. Some functions are only looking for 4. So it just all depends.
Great. And then for the GPA requirements, so WGU is a pass. We don't typically use GPAs, but basically, if you graduate, you pass, you have a 3.0. If you transfer in more credits, you might have a higher GPA than that. Do you typically ask for transcripts for students? Is that something that they could just get from the registrar to show that they've met that minimum requirement?
Absolutely. So yes, we do ask for transcripts. We don't ask the student specifically, but
Mhm.
we get those internally once you've accepted the position. So as long as you can, or the school can verify that the
Mhm.
individual and the student has completed the credits, are of senior status, and have passed, I think that would suffice.
Perfect. And I will just, there was a whole other discussion about this earlier in the chat. So just for everyone on the call, I
Yeah,
will share that in the email follow up. I've got an attachment. We've got some resources on that. So you know how to talk about that and how to go about that with the registrar or with the records office here at WGU. Let's see here. Another question for the HR program specifically, is that one still open and do you accept all business related degrees for that one?
so yes, that position is still open. We are still actively looking for HR LDAs. And yes, you can have a business related degree, but those with an HR focus or experience in the human resources area is preferred.
Perfect. All right. Any other questions that I have missed? Sorry, I was jumping around a little bit. Addison says this has been so helpful. Thank you very much. Thank you, Addison.
Any other questions that I can answer before we let you guys go? Take silence as a no.
Well, thank you so much, Valencia. Is there a good way that students can stay in touch? I know you mentioned following you guys on Handshake and LinkedIn. Is there any other ways that you recommend they kind of check in or follow up on their applications?
Yeah. So again, just if you want to follow me specifically on LinkedIn, please feel free to do so. Valencia Griffin is my LinkedIn name. And outside of LinkedIn and Handshake, we continuously populate and update our Handshake. Feel free to send me a message through Handshake as well too.
Fantastic. Oh, and then there was a question about remote options. And I think for that one, you would say your career website would be the best place to go and
Our
looking for
career
those.
website would be the place to go, but I'm going to caution you that it's very limited when it comes to remote, and I know that's an area of interest for a lot. We're a manufacturing company, so we kind of have to be in office to make products. So um, I'll leave you with that.
Let's see here. Well, sorry, Erin, you said accounting though? Are you asking about accounting being remote or, sorry.
None of our leadership development programs are
Yeah.
none of them.
And I think the nice thing about a leadership development program, and I've been in career services many years and have seen many of these programs, the nice part of that is that networking piece. I
Oh,
think I'm just going to hone in on that, Valencia, is the ability to network, to work with the different teams, to get those mentors. And it's nice that you have that already built into that sometimes you can't really get with a remote option, or it's harder to sometimes make those connections in a different space. So um,
absolutely.
Perfect. Okay. Well, we are at time. So I thank you so much for your time, Valencia, for all of the information. As I mentioned, we are recording this session. So I will go ahead and once it's done processing, I will email the recording to everyone in case you missed a screenshot or whatnot.
Yes.
So you can have all of the information. I will follow up with the additional GPA information there as well. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to then reply back to that email. Feel free to message me. I'm happy to reach out to Valencia and clarify anything and do all of that stuff. And I know I owe folks a few different answers. So Casey, I'll be in touch on the handshake side. Yeah, so thank you again, and I'll stick around for just a moment. But thank you so much, Valencia. Really appreciate it. And thank you everyone for joining us.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for joining and listening to me and learning more about Parker and kind of the things that we offer. And again, if you have any other questions or you sleep on it and one comes to mind, feel free to either reach out to myself or Ezra. She can get in touch with me, and I'll be happy to answer any additional questions.
Perfect.
All right.